I'm losing my train of thought, but yeah, that was the last thing we shot, and then we, one of our individual, everyone's been getting COVID.
Yes.
You know, we have one of our helpers, producers, PAs.
Yes. He's over it.
He's over. He got through.
Guess who else is over it?
Who else?
Come on, me.
You got it too.
I got it, baby.
Man, I thought we didn't film because you were out of town, but no, I'm kidding.
I was trying to. I was gonna go Bay Area.
But
then
for
I
New
got
Year's?
it. Yeah, just I always go there, you know.
Yeah. So how did
then I got it.
you? When did you kind of notice like, oh, there's something?
I was at a rave downtown, you know, and I was in the mesh tank top and a Speedo and roller skates and such. I've done it a million times before. Not a big deal. Meet some new friends and and it's great. It's a great way to meet people, talk about best practices and avoiding COVID.
Because that's where you do it, yeah.
Yeah, because like you'll read the news and you'll catch it on TV and all that, but like, it's not until you're like in a mesh tank top on roller skates and in a Speedo and you're actually talking to the people.
Yeah.
Because those are people on the ground and they have real life experience.
In tune.
They're in tune.
Yeah.
So like dancing and sweating and stuff and getting COVID tips, just like what's the, you know, and it's hard to hear because the music.
Yeah.
So you got to get like really close in their face and you go, how do you avoid COVID? What's your favorite strategy? And they go, what? And I go, hold on a second. Yeah, how do you avoid COVID? What do you find is the best practices? And then they go, I'll tell you after you kiss me. And I go, huh, anything for COVID.
Because that's common in these raves.
That's common in these raves. Yeah, it's like a bartering system, you know? And obviously I want these COVID tips.
You kiss for information.
You kiss for information. I go, all right, with that out of the way, what's the best way to avoid COVID?
And did this guy tell you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was a girl, though.
Oh, okay.
Bro, I don't like this. Just because I'm in a mesh tank top and roller skates?
No,
in a Speedo, you assume?
Oh, I guess the story kind of changed over the last 24 hours since I've heard it.
Oh, I told it to you before?
I think so. It's very familiar. But okay, I'm mistaken. So this individual shared you, and then you're like, oh, I think I feel these symptoms.
I think I've got it. I thought that I got the info, but I just got the Rona. Oh, I got it. How did I get on this tangent of roller skating?
How did you
know that I got it?
Yeah, where you're like, oh. In the TikTok world, the uh-oh moment.
It's like the opposite of Oprah's aha moment.
Yeah.
The uh-oh moment.
That TikTok sound.
So I had been pretty good, you know, like mask everywhere I go pretty much and avoiding crowds and stuff.
Yeah.
And
were you like eating something and you're like, I can't taste this? Or were you drinking something?
No. All right. So like I had done... Or somebody asked me to do their podcast, you know? And I was like, okay, yeah. Like we do the podcast and stuff, but I'm realizing like we're kind of far away.
Yeah, we got literally
We've got
6
distance
feet,
and this is kind of like a bigger space.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'll do this podcast. And then I go there. And then it's not until I get there that I realize it's like, it's kind of close. It's in a room and it's a little closer than I'd like. Yeah. But you know, I had to drive a while to get there and stuff. And I'm like, am I just being paranoid or... I'm like, whatever. You know, I just kept it internal. I go, ideally, there'd be more space.
Yeah.
Looks fine. You know, everyone looks fine. It wasn't a lot of people or anything, but it was just like producer, this person, and then like their significant other or whatever in like a different room. I'm like, that'll probably be fine. But in hindsight, like, I felt fine and all that. Like, he looked fine too and all that. And then, you know, go about my life.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days, maybe 2 or 3 days later, maybe 2 days later, I feel like a little tickle in the back of my throat. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like a tickle and like a scratch, just enough where I'm like, this may be something or started something. So then I'm just curious. I go, let me get a rapid test. Or I was going to do one of those drive ones or whatever, but like, I've heard stories where they go to Dodger Stadium and they're just in line for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'd love to avoid that if I can. So then I looked around and then they had these rapid tests in Woodland Hills. Mm-hmm. I forget who does it. What the name of it?
There's a lot of like urgent clinics or.
Well,
like,
there's this whole. It's not even that. There's this new market. There's this like new industry that's popped up because of COVID. It's just for bougie people who don't want to do the drive.
Yeah,
they just want to pay a lot of money to take a 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute rapid test or whatever. And this was that I'm learning. You know, it was in that Topanga Canyon Mall or whatever. That Woodland Hills.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was $175.
Oh wow,
which is it's a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I did that in Beverly Hills for like 100, about the same. Yeah, 15 or 50 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a pretty penny.
Yeah.
Just to kind of cut to the front of the line and do the thing. So I did that, and I go there, and it's very it's almost like they gutted a ballroom or something because it was hardwood floors. It looked like a dance studio.
Oh wow.
So first you go into this, it looks like a Botox clinic or something. They have these people, and they have all these Fiji waters and shit. Because they're charging you an arm and a leg, they have to make it seem like you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
So like, hi, did you check in? You do the whole thing online. You have like a code and shit. Okay, you're gonna blow your nose, and then you're gonna go into that room, and then so you go into this giant room. It looks like a dance studio, and there's just like a flash dance chair in there. It's just one chair, and it's giant, and then there's some ladies in PPE and stuff, and I'm like, just to warn you, because I've gotten the COVID test before when I was doing the Bill Burr production thing. I cough, because I was expecting it to go in my brain. That's how they did it last time.
It doesn't go too deep. Yeah,
this one was like nothing.
It's like the little.
It's like hardly anything.
Enough for a tickle.
No, this was like fine. So I'm like,
I freaked out.
It was a false alarm. You're like, get away from me. So she did that, and then I just kind of puttered around the mall because it was going to take 10, 15 minutes to get my results. So I went. I got a coffee. A really shitty cappuccino. Lady was nice. Girl was like really. I'm sure she doesn't see a lot of people. Just because they took away the benches and stuff now. You can't even.
Wow. You
can't even. You just have to walk. You're just like an aimless soul at the mall. I don't know why anyone goes to the mall for anything because you can't. It's like a night. Everywhere's a nightclub now because of COVID. You know, if you go to the nightclub, they're like, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. You can never just like stand or sit unless you spend $5,000. Like sitting becomes a premium.
You go shopping, you can't try clothes on. No fitting rooms. It's just kind of like,
hey, it's like malls are saying, just give us money.
Yeah.
For no reason. Just give us money. What do you have to offer? Just give us money, please. Can I try the clothes on? No. Can I sit down? No. Can I eat? You walk around, but you can't stay still because then you're just like a COVID cloud. So you got to keep it moving. So I get a shitty coffee and it's gross. But I smile and pretend that I love it. And then I actually went to Coffee Bean to get like a regular.
No, man.
I'll do that, man.
As long as
coffee is cheap enough where I'm like, this sucks, and I got burned. I'm tossing it in the trash, and I'm gonna get a proper cappuccino.
And how long is it? 1 or 2 sips for you to know that?
I know pretty fast. It was just like pure milk. It's like I was a toddler. She gave me a coffee thing full of milk.
Okay.
Dumped it. Got a real cappuccino. But then I walked back, and I was worried that she would see that it's in a new thing, and maybe she'd be heartbroken. So I kind of hit it with my body. I was like, oh, she can't know that I got it. So anyways, then I get my results. It was negative.
Okay.
It's negative COVID test.
Yeah. And this was only
I'm negative.
A few days. Yeah, because I remember
it's like 2 days after I did the thing.
So with these rapid tests, because I got a rapid test, because I was going to hang out with some friends, and I was like, oh, like...
Yes, I was concerned about maybe going to the Bay Area, and I wanted to know... Yeah. I wanted to be in the clear before I headed out.
So I've done the rapid test, but then when I went back to, like, the next day or later that night to read about it, the rapid test only works when you're, like, in the thick of COVID. Like, like, in the middle of Corona, like, where all your symptoms are kind of showing. That's usually when it comes out positive. You know, I think in the early stages, the deep nasal swabs that you got when you at Universal,
that would have got it.
That I think it picks up early symptoms.
I see. So
it's that negative.
In my mind, it was like negative, and then later that day or later the next day, then it started to hit me.
Oh, later that night. So like you're getting
probably
home?
Later that night. Yeah, okay. Later that night. So like maybe 10 or 11 or something.
Oh man.
Then chills, you know, chills, and then body ache was crazy. So probably had that for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Just like old man, dude. I was like Yoda.
Damn.
But I had nothing to do, so I just chilled in bed.
Yeah.
I wrote it out the whole time. I had nothing to I was just like in bed. I'm like, why not? I probably could have got out and done some stuff.
Yeah.
Just like walked around the house or walked around the neighborhood. But I was like, let me just be in this coffin of a bed, and like everything that needs to happen. I'll just chill.
Yeah.
And then after those 2 or 3 days, I was kind of fine.
Okay.
But I did notice things were salty. People talk about losing your taste and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't lose it. Just things were a little different. Like things were super salty to me.